All right, everyone. Happy 4th of July. I want to welcome you all to the stream on this amazing day. Guys, make the best of every single day. I know you guys are celebrating big time on the 4th of July, and I get it. I get it 100%. But we want to make every day like the 4th of July, every day like Christmas, every day like your birthday. And this is one place that you can express all of that right here on this live, right here in this community. So again, I want to welcome you one and all back to the stream. Also, I want to thank you guys for showing up to the Gobi stream and my stream on last night. You know, 2 streams in a row. You guys showed up. You showed out. Thank you very much. So anyway, yeah, I'm just on here because it's the 4th of July, and I just wanted to pop on here and hang out with you guys a little bit, talk about a little bit of tech. You know how we do, and, you know, drop a few dad jokes and see what you guys are up to today. What is on the grill tonight? Now, I have not grilled a single thing today yet, but I did do a little bit of prepping, and that's more for the fireworks later tonight because I plan on going out in my backyard, launching my drone, and then hoping that I will catch some good video of some of the fireworks going off here once the sun comes down. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so we got a lot of stuff in the carousel, and we've talked about a lot of these products, you know, over the years. We've talked about a lot of these new products over the last few weeks. One of them that I have listed here, I'm actually charging, and I've been charging this most of the day because I used it so much over the last 2 nights. And that would be this battery that you guys see right here. Now, this is a Blue Yeti battery. This is the AC2A. This is almost 300 watts. You have a 12 volt right here. Of course, you can charge this guy off a solar panel. Got a nice, you know, Blue Yeti screen on this guy. You also have 2 USB-A's. You have 1 USB-C, 2 AC plugs right here. You can charge this guy right off of a standard AC plug. So you got a lot of options when it comes to, you know, charging this up. It's got an integrated handle for transporting. And yeah, I was using this a lot over the last 2 nights for powering, you know, some of the lights that we were looking at and other little things that I used to charge. So I actually use these batteries all the time, guys, to charge up a lot of the electronics that I use right here in the studio. So, you know, this guy is a rock star. Let me just put it over here on top of some of this other stuff. There we go. All right, let's get that guy out of the way. So again, I think this is going to be an amazing night. This is not going to be a long stream, guys. I'm going to kind of run through some of these items. Of course, I am here primarily if you guys have any questions whatsoever that were not answered, because you guys know the last 2 streams were pretty fast paced because we had a lot going on at literally at almost the same time. So, you know, if you guys have any questions that did not get answered tonight and going forward will be nights that you will be able to get those questions answered. And then another thing that I wanted you guys to remember is that Prime Day starts on July 8th until July 11th, okay? So we got quite a few. This is Prime Week. I can't call it Prime Day. It's basically Prime Week. But during those days, I will be bringing you guys some of the best products that I have right here in my hot little hands to show you guys, to demo for you guys so that you can get the best deals, okay? So let me know what you guys may have on your mind, something that's on your wish list. If there's something specific that you would like me to look into or have for one of the future streams, I can make that happen as well. So, you know, on top of everything else, you know, the most important thing to me, guys, is that you guys are going to find exactly what you're looking for, and, you know, you're going to be happy, and we'll be creating content with it. You know, that's what I love to see you guys do. You know, take these items and show us how you're using them in your everyday lives, whether it's a webcam, whether it's a light, whether it's a camera, it's a computer, it doesn't matter, whatever it is. You know, you guys know I try to find ways to integrate all of this stuff into my everyday workflow, whether it's, you know, whether it's a light or a fog machine or whatever the case it may be. And I try to find ways every single day to just bring these things to life. So hopefully you guys are being inspired by what you guys see me do on my streams, as well as what you're seeing other people do in the community. If that's the case, then everybody's doing a great job, guys. We're all doing a great job. All right, let's see who's live right now. It looks like Mel is still live over on Everlast Comfort. So if you guys don't know who Mel is an amazing content creator. She's been here for quite some time. I've watched her go from, you know, way down here in the beginning and all the way up to the tier she's at right now. So if you guys get an opportunity, pop over, show Mel some love, you know, drop some, you know, hellos in the comments, all that kind of jazz. Y'all know how we do. All right, let me check also on our other social media platforms to see what's going on over here on YouTube. And let's see, I don't see too many comments coming in from YouTube yet. Let me test our YouTube just to make sure everything is working. Yep, there we go. All right. So let's move on to the next item that we have listed here in the carousel tonight. Now, for a lot of you guys, I know that you are interested in live streaming content creation. You know, we talk about it in the stream and we talk about it a lot off stream as well when you guys are reaching out to me, you know, asking questions, you know, and I try to answer as many of them as I possibly can. So here is a cool little camera, and I still highly, highly recommend this camera, guys. And that is this guy that you see right here. Okay, so this is the Osbot Meet 2. Right now, you can get this here on Amazon for only $109, guys. $109. This is an amazing little camera. Check it out. So what you're going to get here is a 4K camera that has a magnetic base that has a 1/4-20 underneath here. This is all USB-C. All you have to do is just connect this guy using the magnetic base if you want to. This base is designed so that you could easily clip this onto, say, your monitor or onto a stand or whatever it is you want to, you know, support this with. Or you could even use this in a way where you can kind of set this upright. That's how I use it sometimes when I'll set it up, even if it's on a desk, because this is very stable. And then I can take the camera and just kind of place it, you know, something like that. Let me bring that down a little bit. So that way I could just have this as a very low profile camera if I wanted to talk about a small product that might be on my desk or something like that, and I was showing someone that. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways, guys, you can use these cameras. And you can also rotate this into its portrait orientation. So if you're creating content, for instance, for Instagram or for TikTok or something like that, this is going to be another really cool things that you can do with this camera. Okay, so you kind of think about it like, you know, two cameras in one. You can use it for Instagram and TikTok. You can obviously use it also for your normal platform things like YouTube, Facebook, here on Amazon, whatever the case is going to be. Really nice design. It's going to work out really well for you guys. So definitely check this out as well. Now, and that's a great price on it right now, $109 down from $129 for this 4K variant of this camera. All right, let's see. What else do we have? So we have another camera that I use on a regular basis. Now, I actually have that camera mounted here on one of my little stands here. Let me just detach it real quick, and I'll show you guys what this camera looks like. So that would be this camera that you guys see here. Okay, this is the Osmo Pocket 3. Now, this one does come with the microphone. Okay, it comes with a Bluetooth microphone, but a lot of people, when they get it, they don't get the creator combo, and they get the camera by itself without the microphone. And if that's you, I got something for you here in a little bit, but definitely check this guy out. This is a PTZ camera, and one of the cool things about this camera is that, you know, you have the ability to easily rotate it between landscape and portrait by just rotating the screen. Okay, so like right now this is in landscape orientation. Okay, we got a gimbal lock. It's in landscape orientation, as you guys see here. But if I want to, record something for Instagram or TikTok, all I have to do is rotate this screen like this. And now it goes from recording 4K to recording 3K, so that I could just, just have it pretty much the same way. Now you're still going to have your PTZ features. You still have your tracking features. I can still rotate the camera all the way back around. So now it's face tracking me here. I could then send it back in the opposite direction by just clicking on a little icon that's here on the screen. And then, like I said, my bundle did come with this Bluetooth microphone. This is the DJI Mic 2. And you can get this microphone, either a single microphone like you guys see here, or you can get this microphone with a kit where it's going to come with 2 of these omnidirectional microphones and a receiver. But for this camera right here, you only need the one microphone. Okay. There is a way to use the full bundle where you'd connect the transmitter the receiver to the camera itself, and then you could have 2 people on 2 different microphones. So if you're doing like a talking head segment, that's going to be a great way to go about it. So I like this camera a lot. I literally use this camera every single day when I'm creating any type of content. This is my go-to camera right here. Got a built-in joystick. I can easily add an SD card right into this guy here. Record, up to 4K 60 frames a second, which is super cool. I can also do slow motion, guys, up to 120 frames a second with this as well. So, and then there's photo capabilities. There's panoramic capabilities. There's just so many other things you can do with this camera. And of course you can control it with your smartphone like a lot of the other cameras that we talked about, but this is a very portable, small, compact camera. Now this is not an action camera, so it's not like a GoPro, where you're going to take it out and go, skiing or scuba diving or something like that. But this is a very good talking head blogging camera. I have seen other content creators actually do work with these. When I mean work, I'm talking about they're doing full cinematic productions with these little cameras. So they have a lot of potential, guys, a lot of potential. Now I'm going to show you another microphone here that is available for this camera. If perhaps you purchase this camera without the microphone and you're looking for something that's a little bit more budget friendly, but it's still going to give you a lot of options. It's still going to be wireless. It's still going to be able to do a lot of the other things you can do with this microphone. Now, one thing that you can do with this microphone that you may not do with many others, this does have 32-bit float. That means that it has, basically raw audio going into being recorded onto the microphone. And with raw audio or 32-bit float, you don't have to worry about your highs or your lows. So if you're, clipping or something like that, you don't really have to worry about that as much because you'll be able to edit the audio, back down to normal levels. That where you can't do that with, things that are below 32-bit float. So like your 24-bit or something like that, whatever you record is pretty much what you get. But let me show you guys this microphone. I did prepare a video for it, so I'm just going to go ahead and play that video. I'll just be kind of hanging out here. If you guys have any questions, I'm just going to let the video play.
Hey guys, it's your buddy Rome. Today we're going to take a look at a product that was sent out to me to review from Godox. So if you have purchased the Osmo Pocket 3 and yet don't have a wireless microphone for it, this could be an amazing option for you. This is the Cube OP3. Now this kit will consist of a receiver as well as a transmitting microphone. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this up, take a look at everything that comes in the box. So inside of the box, as you guys can see here, we're greeted with the microphone itself. We also receive a starter manual, and we receive some really cool stickers for your microphone. That's nice. All right, so let's take a look at the main event. Inside of the box, you're going to get this nice little travel case that you see here. Inside of the travel case, you'll find all of the other accessories. Let's go ahead and pull those out. So you get a little magnetic microphone holder. You receive a charging cable for the microphone itself. You receive a USB-A to USB-C connector with an adapter. You also receive the magnetic clip for your microphone as well. All right, so let's take a look at the kit itself. Here is the receiver that you guys see here. So this has your power button on the back and I think your sync connection. You also have a 1/4-20 underneath as well as an additional USB-C. And there's a USB-C here on the front. So you know why that. If you're using a Pocket 3, you know the benefit of having this on the front so that you can easily connect to your camera and transfer files off of it. All right, so here is the microphone. Now it comes with the little wind muff already attached to it. It just looks like a little ring. And then this is the actual microphone itself. Very small, very petite little microphone. Now, the cable that came with it, as you guys can see here, is also a 3-prong, and it just connects magnetically like that. That's what's going to allow you to charge up your microphone. Okay, so let's get to the install. Let me show you guys how this works. So I'm going to disconnect from the Pocket 3 here, existing extension. So with this, you're going to just plug this in like so, and the little legs just snap on. Make sure those snap on securely. Okay, so now that's on. So now I can replace this if I choose to by just connecting it like so and making sure both sides snap. Now it does add a little bit of length to the unit, but at the same time, you know, this is going to be only used most of the time when you're going to be recording something. So let's set this back down here on the table. So now we can power this on. Let's turn on the Pocket 3 and let's power on the microphone itself. All right, so the microphone is now connected. So you may have to go into your settings, wireless microphones, go here to audio. All right, guys, this is sample audio coming into the Pocket 3 using the Godox microphone so you can hear what it actually sounds like being recorded directly into the Pocket 3. You'll also be able to use this microphone.
All right, guys, that's enough of that one, but you guys get the idea. It's a really budget-friendly, high-quality microphone from Godox that's going to give you a lot of features and flexibility as far as portability, because it doesn't take up a lot of space. And in the situation in the video where I connected it to the connector that I already had, you really don't have to do that. You could just connect it directly to the camera and still mount a tripod to it, or you know, mount it on a stand or whatever you want to. So you're going to be pretty much good to go. All right, so let's pop on to our next item in the carousel. All right, guys, so the next item in the carousel tonight is one of my favorite crafting devices here. And that is one of the lasers that I have here from our friends over at X-Tool. Now, I have used a ton of lasers. Most of you guys know. I was thinking about that earlier today, how many lasers I actually have right here in the studio. And as I count them, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 8 lasers in total right now here in the studio, okay? And that's overabundance of lasers, guys. And I also have other, you know, companies that want me to review their lasers as well. Some of them I do turn down on occasion because, you know, one, I don't have the room for it, or it's not a format that I'm interested in, or something like that. But this laser right here, guys, is one of my favorite lasers so far. It is definitely in the top 3. Let me show you guys this laser here. Whoops, wrong camera. Hold on. There we go. There it is. I am bouncing all over the place. I really need to write down which one of the settings this is. But anyway, so this is the laser that we're talking about right here. This is the X-Tool M1 Ultra. Now, this laser comes with a few modules. One of the modules that you guys see here is a print module. This can actually print onto most substrates, no problem with that. It also comes with a pen module, and the pen module is going to allow you to, put some pens inside of it, and it can draw, it can write your name, it can do all kind of cool things. So you can draw something, color it in with the printer, and then cut it out with the laser. That's pretty cool. Now inside of this enclosure here, you guys are going to see that we have a 10-watt laser right here. There's also a 20-watt laser module available for this laser. And it also has a blade cutter for like vinyl and acrylics and fabric and stuff like that. So if you're doing any type of, work where you're going to be using maybe a heat press, or maybe you want to make some patches for, caps or vests or jackets or something like that, this is an all-in-one kit, guys. It has ventilation built in. This material here on the top is designed to protect your eyes from the laser light. It is the same type of material that you would find with your laser glasses. So in a nutshell, this is an amazing piece of kit. Now, right now, you can get this guy here on Amazon for $1,199.99, which is a great price for what you get. It is all in one. It is not taking up a lot of space on this desk. So I can kind of give you guys an idea here. So if I go to our next camera setting, this is the other part of the desk. You can see there's a lot of desk left, and this laser is taking up maybe, I would say about half. I said it's taking up about half of this little table right here. So that's still leaving a lot of room for maybe other gadgets or supplies or anything else that you'd want to put there. So definitely check this guy out as well. I think you're going to be really, really happy with it. Now, I was mentioning earlier that I plan on getting out here once the sun goes down, hopefully, if the weather holds, and send one of my drones up in the sky after getting clearance to make sure that I'm safe to fly. I always do an FAA check to make sure there's no restrictions or anything like that. But generally, when it's people, doing fireworks at their own homes, you, for the most part, don't really need, FAA clearance. But if I was at an official, fireworks at a concert or downtown or something like that, then you would have to get that permission just to be safe. But I think we're pretty good to go here as far as what I got planned for tonight. So the drone that we're going to be flying tonight is my DJI Air 3S. Now, you guys have probably seen me talk about this drone before, but let me grab it and show you. Now, this drone is, it's an amazing little drone. I received the Fly More combo, which comes with the RC2 controller, which is this controller right here. Now, I do have like a screen protector on here, but this is the controller. It has a 5.5-inch screen. I'll show you guys here. And recent firmware update also, they installed, or they provide us now with a simulator, and I practiced with that simulator almost daily, guys. I'll do 10-15 minutes of just flying around some of these simulated spaces just because it keeps your skills sharp, okay? Now, the drone itself has two cameras, as you guys can see here. You have the equivalent of a 24 millimeter and a 70 millimeter, equivalent, which is 1.8, which is going to be really good in low light. You also have LiDAR now on this drone, so that means it can actually detect something that it flies up onto within one candlelight, up to 1 meter. I think it's 1 meter. So that's pretty good that it has that built in. Now, it has 360-degree obstacle avoidance. You have all of these little cameras all the way around the drone, also underneath the drone. It also has landing light. So if you're landing at night, you'll see that little light come on. This guy is super fast as well. It can fly up to almost 60 miles an hour. So this is a drone that I use for my recreational flights as well as for my commercial flights. Okay, so this is definitely good enough for me to use for professional work. So when I'm, doing cinematography and, my DP requires some drone footage or some, some elevated shots or something like that, This drone right here and another drone that I use are two of the drones that we use quite often for cinematic work. Now, this drone is, let me put this guy back here. It does come with, like I said, the Fly More combo, which comes with 3 batteries. And here is your charger. So you get this charger, you get 3 batteries. I have obviously 1 battery in the drone, 2 other batteries here. So with the combination of these 3 batteries and the rapid charger, you can fly this drone for hours at a time, guys. And if you combine that with one of these solar powered batteries that we're always talking about, like these portable Blue Yeti batteries, the one we were looking at earlier, you could have that with you out on location, charge up your batteries, between flights or between, moving from one location to another, topping them off, getting them ready for the next flight if you're going to have multiple flights throughout the day. Now, if you're only going to be doing a few flights, trust me, you got enough battery power to last you, throughout the whole thing. Now, I did purchase 1 more additional battery, and you can actually purchase those batteries right here. These batteries are a little on the pricey side, I admit that, but for what you get, let me show you here. Let's take this down to the desk. All right, so check this out. So this is what the batteries look like. Okay, so the Fly More combo comes with 3 of these, but a lot of people will buy this drone by itself with just 1 battery. And I do not recommend that. I think you need at least 2 to 3 batteries, 2 being the minimum. And you can purchase an additional battery here on Amazon for $189. And this is the DJI Air 3S Intelligent Flight batteries. These are the official DJI batteries. They're going to be no different than the ones that you get if you get the Fly More combo or some other type of arrangement. But it's the same battery. They all fit perfectly into this charger. They swap out in between, from the drone with no effort whatsoever. So that's another option for a lot of you that may decide to go with this drone. But, the Fly More combo is, out of your budget range. You can still also get, additional batteries later. I honestly plan on buying at least 2 more batteries just so I have about, 5 batteries in total, because like I said, I use this as a professional drone. So, having the ability to keep this guy in flight as much as possible, depending on the jobs that I'm on, is really, really important. So, there we go. All right. So, I try to show you guys everything that I use on a daily basis, whether it's, in my commercial work, whether it's photography, videography, lighting, for the studio, audio, for your podcast, for your live streams, whatever the case it is. I always have, some of that tech in every one of my streams. Now, here's something that I just recently purchased. And let me see which one of my cameras is connected to. Okay, this one is. Okay, so let me clean these lenses off real quick, because I see little fingerprints on these lenses. All right. Yes, clean your lenses. Clean your lenses. All right, so let me show you guys this real quick. Let me get this thing off. All right, so let's switch over to our iPhone here real quick. And I want you guys to see this stand that I have here. Now, this is connected right here on my desk. And the Pocket 3 is also mounted directly on this stand. Now, this arm is extendable, so it's like twice the length. Once you extend it all the way out, it would go about that far. And then the top column also is the same. It extends all the way up, so it's like twice the length that you guys see here. It has those type of ratcheting tighteners on here. This mount comes with 2 ball head mounts. So you see I have one light mounted on this one, and then on the second ball head mount, I have the camera mounted on it. Now I slid this down the desk just so it would kind of be out of the way for this live stream, but normally this sits about right here in the area where I normally sit when I'm doing like product reviews or unboxings or something like that. That's about where I have this. And so it's really easy to move this around. You guys see it has one of those standard desk mounts on here with a little tensioning lever or screw or whatever you want to call it. Now this is really wide on this one as well, because if you have a thick desk, you know, like this desk right here is not super thick, but, you know, looking at the different lips on some of my desks, you guys can see that one is, you know, relatively thick as well. So, you know, being able to, you know, have something that I don't have to struggle with if I want to move this to a different desk, or maybe perhaps one of those desks back there. I think this one right here and then this desk here is probably going to be the thicker of the two. And I think this will work perfectly with either one of those desks, no problem. Now, this is all metal. Right now, this is only $20.98. So definitely check that out as well. So if you are looking for a simple way, guys, to set up a live stream, to create content, you know, to easily be able to do product videos or instructional how-to videos, especially for my teachers out there, my teacher-minded people out there, that's going to be a great tool for you. Even if you're doing selfie videos, because you can turn it in reverse where the camera is facing you, and you could have a light on it as well, which would be your face light. And you could go with something as large as some of these other lights that I have here in the studio. You're not limited to just that little light that's on there, guys. I mean, so you could have a light, you could have, you know, a big softbox like you see here, or one of these smaller lights that I'm using here in the studio. All of those are possible on something like this. It's just a matter of finding what's going to work for you. Now, these little ball head mounts are pretty strong, but if you wind up with a light that's a little bit more heavy, you could just get a more stronger ball head mount. But the metal poles and everything are definitely going to be able to support the weight. I would feel comfortable putting one of my heavier cameras on here. Now, not one of my cinema rigs, but, you know, a heavier camera, you know, none the same. I don't think it would be a problem putting one of the heavier cameras on here. So most people are not going to be using anything heavier than possibly a smartphone or a small mirrorless camera or an action camera or something like that. So if that's what you're going to be using, you're going to be more than happy with the results that you're going to get from this. So if you guys have any other questions about this, let me know down in the comments. I got you. You know how we do. All right, let's keep rolling. Now, as I mentioned before, you know, audio is very important, okay? But another cool thing about using something like one of these stands is you can kind of build on it as you need to. So there's other magic clamps that you can buy that you can still clip onto that same apparatus, and maybe you just want to have a microphone facing you as well. And let me show you guys that real quick here. So this is another little magic arm, little magic clamp that you see here on this desk. So that little clamp is clipped onto the desk. I could easily attach that to any part of this rod, and then I could add a light, additional light. I could have a microphone, like a little shotgun microphone or something like that, pointing toward myself or toward someone else. So you have a lot of flexibility, guys, when it comes to, you know, setting these things up and, you know, just kind of dialing it in the way that's going to be best for you. That's always the key. All right, so now audio-wise, most of you that's been watching me for a while know this is my my daily driver right here. This is the Rode Procaster. I have been using this microphone over 5 years now, and it's just an amazing, amazing high-quality microphone. And that's this guy right here. All metal housing, great sound, great build. I mean, I've dropped this thing a couple of times. Other people have knocked this thing off my desk a couple of times. And I'm telling you, I've had no issues with it whatsoever. This thing is built like a little tank, okay? But even the best microphones, especially XLR microphones, still are going to require you to have some type of high quality audio interface, okay? And that's where something like this comes into play. This is our Rodecaster Pro 2. Now, I had started out with the original Rodecaster when it first came on the market. And then when the Rodecaster 2 was announced, I pre-ordered it. I was waiting for it. I couldn't wait to get my hands on it. It was similar in design, but this one is actually a little bit smaller, more compact on the desk, as you guys can see here. Now, it has a lot of similarities. So we have these faders. These faders here are for your volume, okay, for your volume control. So you can actually connect up to 4 XLR microphones to this. You can connect to 4 sets of headphones. You have a touch screen here for controlling everything. You guys can see my gain levels as I'm speaking right now. You can record directly into this. You have a dedicated record button. So if you're just doing podcasts, no live streaming, anything like that, you can do an entire podcast, guys, with multiple guests just using this one device, okay? Now, since this came out, Rode has come out with smaller units that, have maybe half the features or whatever it is. But I'm telling you, if it's in your budget, guys, this is going to future-proof you where you can have up to 4, physical guests in the room on a podcast with you, each one having their own microphones, their own gain controls for each one of those microphones. The levels can be individually controlled. You have mute and solo buttons along here as well. And we haven't even got to these magic buttons right here. Now, this is where all of my sound effects come from. So, when somebody comes into the stream and I always, compliment them or welcome them, that's where that sound effect comes from. I can play little music clips from this as well. I also have the ability to do voice effects, so if I want to, drop something funny,
I can change my voice just like this. Maybe I'm trying to be dramatic about something.
Or maybe I'm really excited about something. I'm like, oh my God, y'all won't believe what happened today. Man, okay, so look, this is my story and I'm sticking to it.
You know what I'm saying? So you got all of these different voice effects. You got like little robot effects.
You have transformer effects. You have incognito effects. And you can
kind of combine these together sometimes. And you got to
be careful when you mix them, because then you get some really weird sound effects, okay?
So you gotta
make sure you turned them off correctly, because I didn't even know that was a thing until a while ago, that you can actually press 2 of these at the same time. Maybe it's just my unit, I don't know, but it actually turned out pretty cool that I could do that. But anyway, guys, the Rodecaster Pro 2 right now is $699.99. So you combine that with a really high quality microphone, it's going to last you for years. This has been my setup, guys. Well, this style setup has been my workflow for over 4 years, streaming here on Amazon, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Zoom calls, client calls, all of that kind of jazz. This is where the audio magic happens with this device. So, I can highly recommend, if you guys are interested in high quality productions, even if it's not a high quality production, the most important thing is, listen to me now, the most important thing is your audio, okay? You can have subpar video. You could have shaky video, but people will still watch because you got shaky video, okay? That won't bother them as much. But as long as you have high quality audio, you'll be able to, hold your clients or hold your viewers or whatever it is. But man, when I tell you, when you lose that dynamic range, that mid-tones, that bass, those subtle nuances to the voice, they are out. Or you get that scratchy audio, or that audio that sounds like somebody's talking into one of those cans. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember when we used to do that. We used to take 2 cans and a string, and we would put the string between the cans, and you could use them like walkie-talkies. You can literally talk, and the voice would vibrate down the string, and then you could go back and forth. Like when we used to have like little tree houses and clubhouses, and we'd have like the girls' clubhouse over there and the boys' clubhouse over there, and we'd have a little string communication system. Yeah, we were very sophisticated back then. Yes, we were. We were very sophisticated back then. We didn't have cell phones when I was a kid, okay? So we didn't have RC cars and drones and all of that stuff. We fantasized about things like that. It's so funny to me when I look back sometimes on that time, and we imagined a lot of us would talk about what we're seeing in real time today. So that's just another example of you or someone else using your imagination, guys, and pushing it forward to create something that will manifest itself in the real world, and people will just love it. I mean, just think about the clapper, clap on, clap off. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, let's keep rolling. So we have some other audio gear here. So let me show you guys some other microphones. Actually, you know what? Let me show you a couple of different options on the microphones. I don't think I brought those back over here. I think I left them in the front room. But anyway, the microphones that I want to show you guys are from our friends over at AnchorWorks. It's the M650 wireless microphones. Now, you can get those microphones here on Amazon, guys, right now today for as little as... what is it, $179.99. So you're going to get two omnidirectional microphones. Let me just show them to you really quickly here. So this is what the microphones look like. You're going to get two omnidirectional microphones. You're going to get the receiver. It has two adapters, one for Lightning, one for USB-C. It comes with two different little covers. The base unit will come with the two black covers and then two additional ones that you can swap out if you want to. There's also a white variant of these as well. These will transmit, guys, line of sight up to about 600 feet. These are two-channel transmitter receivers. They do have internal recording as well. These are going to be ideal for your blogs or anything like that. So I use these guys all the time. Those were my go-to, wireless microphones that I would use for almost everything I would do, especially if I was recording something with one of my phones. Those were the ones I would use. I just plug in the receiver, have the phone mounted on something, either top down or facing or whatever it is, little microphone on my chest, and I could, I have hands free and I can talk about different products. I can easily move around the room and pick things up and that kind of thing. So yeah, really nice deal on these. These are Prime exclusives right now. So definitely give them a check. Give them a check. Check them out. Now, we were talking earlier about portable batteries, okay? So as a photographer, doing cinematography, doing photo shoots, we carry a lot of gear with us, guys. I got a wagon. I actually have two, but I have a wagon that I usually, I take with me. That I carry my light stands, my tripods, sometimes my light cases, my camera bags. Most of those are going to be like a backpack or something with all my lenses and, portable flashes, portable strobes, or whatever the case is going to be. And I always wanted to have a way to transport easily one of these portable batteries, okay? And it just did not manifest itself until recently. Blue Yeti came out with this backpack right here, which is this guy that you see here. This is the Blue Yeti Hands-Free 1. This is it's a multi-pocket backpack. But the secret to it is that it has a battery that fits right into this little section right here. And the battery provides AC and DC power, okay? The backpack is nice. Don't get me wrong. The backpack is really nice. You got a lot of pockets on here. You have some MOLLE attachments on here for like mounting things to it. You have cup holders. I have a bunch of stuff in here. Like I have some of my drone props in here. I always keep spare ones. I have my drone flight vest in here. I have my landing pad in here. I have cables for the batteries and other things all in this backpack. So this backpack has become like my go-to for almost every one of my commercial jobs. And it's so funny to me now when I walk in and I set this thing down and people notice that I'm plugging my laptop into my backpack or I'm plugging something else into my backpack. They're always so impressed by it. They're like, hey, what you got there, Rome? What you got? I'm like, oh, that's just the Blue Yeti Hands-Free 1. It comes with the battery. And I take the battery out often so I could use it for other things. But let me show you guys a quick little video on this backpack. And let me just throw that down there. So let me show you guys this quick little video on the backpack, and you guys let me know if you have any additional questions about it whatsoever. All right,
guys, we're going to take a look at the exterior of the bag here in just a moment. But first, I want you guys to see how efficient this power bank has been added to this assembly. Now, this comes with a little cover, as you guys can see here, 2 zippers on either side. This is a breathable mesh, so it allows air to flow through so that the battery can stay cool. You have a little Velcro strap right here that you could use to secure that if you wanted to gain access to the battery. This is going to be my everyday running gun backpack. At the very top here, you also have a locking mechanism. Let me show you guys that real quick. You actually have a lock here that allows you to lock this section closed. I think Blue Yeti was trying to reach out to content creators, travel bloggers, things like that. You know, people who go out, you know, Blue Yeti being the brand, and they went with this blue color. I like it. I don't see anything wrong with it because I have backpacks of a variety of different colors. Having this with you on location is a win. What you guys see here are some little zipper pulls that are colorized. They come in different colors. And the reason why you would need something like this, perfect example.
All right, so that was me starting to talk about the little tabs that I have on the backpack. The reason being is there's so many zippers on that backpack, you literally lose track of what unzips what. So I put those little tabs on there so I know, you know, like when the yellow, that's going to be the drone section where maybe I have one lens in there. And then the next section might be where I have clothing if I'm staying someplace overnight or something like that, or I have my cables or whatever. I have it in my mind where these different things are. I just need to be able to easily get to them super quick. A lot of times when I'm doing a photo shoot, I have the backpack with me because we're moving around maybe in an old abandoned warehouse, you know, setting, or, you know, outdoors or in a wooded setting or in nature or in a desert or whatever it is. And we need to quickly grab these items and demo them in real time. So there's not a lot of room, guys, for, you know, digging around and stuff, because, you know, when you're on the job, you know, the clients expect you to be as efficient as possible. So, yeah, that's a win. That's a win. That backpack is definitely a win. All right, so let's take a look at another cool little gadget. I'm just trying to figure out what I did with it. Oh, my goodness. This day has gone crazy so far. Anyway, so the item that I'm looking for right now, and I know it's here. There we go. I got it. Is this item right here from Ugreen. So this is one of their 65 watt power converters. So this is going to give you a really cool effect. But the most important thing about this, well, I can't say that's the most important thing, but the most interesting thing about this is that it looks so cool. Okay, so this is your little guy right here, and yes, he has boots. Yes, the little 2 prongs you know, just fit inside of these little boots. And yes, you can just sit it on your desk or whatever it is when you're not using it. People are going to ask, hey man, what is that? What kind of toy is that? No, that's a power supply. And his face actually lights up when you add power to it. Let me find one of these batteries and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So here is one of my little portable batteries. And let me go ahead and power this guy on real quick here. There we go. And I can just take this, plug it into the AC plug, 2 prongs, just like that. And then instantly you guys see that little face pop up here. And the face changes while you're charging. It'll go through like 1 or 2 different little transitions. I wish it was animated, you know, while I was charging. That would be super cool, but that probably will take up a lot of resources, you know, for the charging process. But anyway, this has 2 USB-Cs and 1 USB-A, 65 watts right here. Super cool, super nerdy. So if you're like me, a big nerd, you're definitely gonna love this thing, guys. So definitely check it out. Right now, these are $32.48, and they come in 3 different variations. So there's a purple and white variations that is the feminine. This is the male version of it, you know, which is black and silver with the headphones, and then there's another variation of it as well. So the white one is purple and white, and then there's another color combination for this as well. So if you guys like novelty things that actually work, this might be very interesting. So definitely check this guy out as well. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments. All right, let's see how many items we got left in the carousel. I don't think we have too many things left, which is good because I got to go get to prepping for the drone flight here in a little bit. All right, so our next item in the carousel is actually from our friends over at Govee, and that is this drone, not a drone, this table lamp. This table lamp that I want to show you guys. Hold on, let me move a couple of things around here, and we're going to switch over to this desk so I can show you guys this cool little lamp. Now, I have a couple of batteries here, but I'm just going to use the smallest battery I have just to prove to you guys how well this little guy will work with, you know, almost no power. With a small compact battery, okay? So let's go over to, let's go down here so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, so here is the table lamp, okay? So you guys can see I have the Blue Yeti battery here. I have another Blue Yeti battery here, but I'm not going to use that. I'm actually going to just use this little battery right here, okay? So we're just going to plug this guy in. This is only like 145 watts. So as you can see, instantly the table lamp comes on. That means you could take this guy camping. You could take this, you know, on a road trip. You can take it pretty much anywhere you want to. I think, you know, camping, this would be so cool to have out at a campsite, you know, because, you know, at nighttime, these lights are really going to stand out. Now, you can, without a remote or without anything else, you can switch the different modes. I can just tap here on the top. Now, you have your power button up here as well. So this is how you would turn it on or off. And then you obviously can turn it back on from the same button here. And you can go through the different modes. You can adjust the intensity of the light. There's a plus and minus up here as well. So you guys can see, I'm just going to go through a couple of these little lighting effects just so you guys can see what this looks like. Beautiful, beautiful light, guys. Great price on this right now. This is only $69.99, $69.99 for this light. So definitely check it out. I think this is going to be a great addition for like a home office, man cave, she shed, bedroom, kids room, nursery, all of those. Somebody mentioned to me last night that this would be ideal for a nursery. I think that's a very good idea, you know, to have this as a nursery light. So yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. This used to be my bedside lamp, believe it or not. And you can schedule the time, you know, where the light is on or off, or when it comes on, when it goes off, all of those kind of cool things using the Govee app. So the Govee app does unlock a lot of features from this lamp. Let me just open the app here real quick. I'm just going to quickly show you what I'm talking about. So here's our tabletop lamp. Hold on. So anyway, this is the Govee app right here, as you guys can see. So once you have it all set up and you have the Govee app installed, you'll actually be able to use the app, go into the app and switch, turn on, turn off, schedule, all of those features with this guy. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Govee products, as you guys have probably figured out on your own by now. And the flexibility of being able to either use the Govee app, Google Home, Alexa, you know, Meta, all of those make it really, really easy for almost anyone on any tech level to be able to benefit from the, you know, the amazing things that you can do with these lights. Now, I have one more light here that I need to turn on. So let me show you guys that one as well. Now, this light behind me is actually not on right now, but I do have it connected to one of my solar batteries that's back here on this back desk. Let me turn that first lamp off and switch over here real quick. All right. All right, there we go. So this one should turn on here in just a second, and I'll show you guys, you know, what's so cool about this lamp. All right, so let me show you. Hold on, let me get the camera to switch back on. Let me show you what is amazing about this lamp right here. So this guy is a normal floor lamp. Now, I took out one of the metal sections just to make it a little bit shorter so I could show it to you guys here in the stream. All right, first things first, let me get the camera to keep tracking me. There we go. Okay. So anyway, this lamp right here, as you guys can see, this is what it looks like from the top. This is the side profile of it. It does have an underlight as well, which is also bicolor. You can bring it all the way down to 2300 Kelvin, all the way up to 6500 Kelvin, which is really warm. But it actually produces its greatest effect on your ceiling. Now the neck is tiltable, so you can point this to a corner in the wall, or, you know, kind of toward the wall or whatever you want to, which is really nice as well. This one has a lot of different lighting effects that you can go through. But, you know, just quickly to show you what it basically does, it basically generates a light pattern on the ceiling. Now, of course, you can control this with Meta, Alexa, Google Home, all of those, like I mentioned before. There's a ton of different lighting effects for these lights that you can, you know, set up. You know, almost all of the Govee lights that I talk about, whether it's this floor lamp over here, this new table lamp, or those lights back there we're going to talk about here in a second. Guys, you can tie all of these together where they're doing something similar, or some of them you can even have them do the exact same things, which is also really cool. This lamp is probably going to become, you know, a really big part of my live streams because people love seeing this lamp back here. So I think what is going to most likely happen is just I have to remind myself to always have it turned on, because I know in the near future people will be asking about this lamp all the time, this one right here. So yeah, if that's something that you guys might be into, you're setting up, you know, your own personal, you know, space, or you're providing, you know, things for someone else's personal space. That light right now, guys, is only $179.99. So we have two more lights on here, and then I'm going to show you guys one more video, and then we're going to kind of wrap it up. Now, these lights back here, I do need to power them on. So let me bring this Blue Yeti battery. Give me 1 second to get this battery set up. So this right here is the Blue Yeti battery that I was talking about earlier, okay? So let me see if I can get you guys over here so you can see it. So you guys can see the Blue Yeti batteries right here. So I just need to plug that light in, those lights in to this battery. Hopefully it's got enough charge left on the battery to be able to turn the lights on. Let me check. If not, I'll grab a different battery. Let me see. Yep, we should have. All right, so let's turn our AC on. All right, so we have our AC power on now. And those lights are going to start to come on. All right, so let me show you guys. Let me show you guys those lights. All right, so there we go. So those are Govee lights as well. Those are the Govee outdoor clear bulbs. They are currently $99.99 for the full set. Now those, I think, are right at, let me check to be sure how long they are. Let me just check here. All right, so I want to give you guys exact numbers. I don't want to tell you something. Oh, they're right here in front of me. Okay. So those are 48 feet for those bulbs that you guys are looking at right here. So, of course, with the Govee app, you can go in and you can change the color effects of these lights, which is super cool. But you know, you can preset, you can program these lights. I don't know why my Govee app is not working on this phone tonight. Let me try my other phone, because I did just recently update this Govee app, and for some reason on one of my iPhones it's not working right. And I know it's not the Govee app, it's probably the most recent firmware update. So let me just go to these lights. I'm gonna connect with my other phone and I'll show you guys here some of the cool effects. So here's Halloween. Here's a cool little Halloween effect. Here is another Halloween effect that you can do with these lights. And here is a Christmas theme that you can do with the lights as well. Now it has a variety of, let me show you here real quick. You have a variety of different effects that you can use here, meaning I can do this Christmas tree one, and you guys see what that looks like. Here is our dashing sleigh. Again, a really cool effect. I can go here to nature. Here is a rainbow, and that's just going to kind of go through the RGB spectrum. Here's another one right here for glacier. That's probably going to give us more of a blue color. But you guys see how I'm switching through these really easily. And then we have all of these presets right here that you can go through. You can also set this to music, where it's going to be responding to, say, someone's voice. Like while I'm talking right now, the lights are going to be active, but when I stop talking, and then when I start talking again, the lights are going to become active again. So, you know, that's another cool thing about these type of lights. You have so many different ways of setting them up. You know, if you're doing something out in the backyard, you know, of course, these have a high IP rating. You don't have to worry about them getting wet. You don't have to worry about the snow or anything like that. Just put them out there and pretty much forget them. Just set them for your upcoming parties. Like tonight would be a perfect night to have these guys out there for the 4th of July or something like that. So, you know, definitely check them out. Let me know what you guys think about these lights. And again, these are $99.99. All right, so we have one more light here in the studio that we're going to take a quick look at here. And those are directly behind me, which are these curtain lights back here. I left them off on purpose so I can show you guys what it looks like when we actually turn them on. So let me power these guys on real quick, and you're going to see them quickly light up. All right, so what's nice about these curtain lights, guys, for one, you get 4.4 by 6 foot of the lights, and you can easily go in and change any of the effects. It's basically the same thing as what I just showed you guys before. You know, you can go through and, you know, use the different scenes. You know, here's like a little bouncing ball. Here is this maze effect. Here's one with a tic-tac-toe effect. Let me show you guys what that looks like a little bit better. Whoops, wrong one. All right, so this is what the tic-tac-toe one looks like. Let me bring this camera down just a touch so you guys can see that a little bit better. So you get the idea. So there's a lot of cool things you can do with these lights. Here's some butterflies. All right, we have birds flying, seahorse, jellyfish, you know, just a huge array of things that you can do with this. Here's Mr. Duck. Yeah, we got a duck here, so you guys can check that one out as well. So there's Mr. Duck. I think he's graduated from college or something. So, you know, use your imagination, guys. There's a lot of things that's related to the community as well, because there's a lot of community influence with these lights. People who have created a lot of things with these lights that make it easy for you to just download what they have already created and apply it directly to your lights. I used to do that all the time when I first got the curtain lights. I would sit for hours sometimes just looking at, I'm just amazed at how many things people had already created, and all I had to do was click on it and poof, it was on my lights. Okay, so you know, these lights are going to be great for you for 4th of July, for New Year's, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever holidays you celebrate, guys. That, you know, you'll come up with some type of amazing design for those lights. So, you know, think about it from that perspective. You can integrate all of these lights together. They're just amazing, beautiful, high quality lights. All right, so I got one little video to show you guys here real quick. And then we're going to just kind of wrap it up. Now, I'm going to be using this here in just a few minutes when I go in the kitchen to start making dinner for tonight. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this video. This is a cheese slicer or shredder that I just got. I bought this thing myself because I really wanted one. And
hey guys, this is your buddy Rome. Today we're going to take a look at a meal prep kit that I got in today. Now this is my cheese grater. I'm also going to be using this to make home chips. Now it comes with a bunch of different blades, and the blades are going to be used for a variety of different things. You could use it for making cookies. You can use it with walnuts. You can use it with cheese. You can use it with garlic, potatoes. You have such a large range of things that you're going to be able to create with this. So let's take a look at all of the different components that come in the box. All right, guys, so starting out with the base, this is the first component that you're going to receive. Now, this is what adheres to the surface that you're going to be locking this to. You guys see we have a lock and a release. So in order to lock this down, all you have to do is rotate this like so.
It was so
and
easy
that will
to set
lock
up, guys.
this
So
in
easy.
place. Now, this right here is your little silo. This is what you're going to connect to drop your blades in. And that just slides into
Alan
place
DeBay is in the
like
house.
so.
Welcome, Alan.
There's a little button right here on the side that you can press to release. So you just press this little button down to take it out to clean, and it just locks it in place. It also comes with this pusher, and that just goes in like so that you can push through whatever it is you want to grate. Now it also comes with a handle,
Alan, do
and you get
have a
3
cheese shredder?
of the different blades. As you
Do you
guys
have a
see
cheese
here,
shredder?
this is the larger for cheese. This is the smaller one that you get. And this one right here is going to be ideal for like slicing up potatoes and other things that you want to have kind of a flat surface
Did
to
you
them.
hear the freedom
And
knock
you
knock
also
joke? No,
receive
sir.
the handle that connects onto
waiting.
everything.
I'm
So
waiting for
let's
it,
start
Alan. I'm
off
waiting.
with making a couple
Give
of
it to
things.
me,
So
bro.
first things first, we're going to take this blade and we're just going to push this guy through like so. And then we'll just take the handle, and this just locks in place like that. And to remove the handle, there's
Neither
also
did
a
I,
little switch
because
on here that you can pull
freedom
down on, and that just pops the handle right off like that. All right, so let's find something to shred.
right.
Yeah, let's get it. All right, guys, so we're gonna put our cheese shredder in here. Pop this guy on. All right, so let's grab our cheese. So we're starting out with a big block of cheese that we're going to shred. But what I'm going to do, and to make this easier on myself, I'm just going to cut this in half like so.
I'm finna go in the kitchen. I'm finna set it off, y'all. I'm finna set it off.
All right, so now that we have our 2 slices of cheese, that's what we're going to start with. And we're going to just shred this down. All right, so to get started, all we have to do is drop our cheese in like so, and just apply just a little bit of pressure, and just start to rotate.
Check it out.
And you guys will see in no time the cheese will start to fall through.
Man.
And then you can take your pusher and add that as
on
well
now.
to make it easier on yourself. All right, guys, look at that. Look at all of this mozzarella cheese that we just were able to produce. That's amazing. Let's try something. All right, guys, so we're going to start with the carrot. So
I'm ready. I'm ready. I got to go make dinner, y'all. I got to go make dinner. All right, guys, we only have one thing left in the carousel, and that is this drawstring backpacks. So you guys know I talk about these drawstring backpacks almost every single night. Now, I want you guys to, start your year off right, guys. Get out there, do what you can, help the community. But again, these drawstring backpacks are going to be great for a variety of different things. These are going to be great if you only want to use them for reusable shopping bags, storage bags, day trip bags, whatever you want to use them for, okay? So you actually get 10 of them right now in assorted colors, or you can order them in one solid color if you got a theme in mind. $9.99. These are rewashable. These are washable drawstring backpacks. But the reason we purchase them is so that we can donate items to our community. of homeless or the women's shelters, or even sometimes the pet shelters. We do once a year, or I think no, twice a year now. We'll collect items just for the rescue pet shelters, and we'll donate those items. Sometimes we'll do the backpacks too, so that when people adopt those pets, they get like a little carry home backpack that we provided with items that are going to be accommodating for a new pet owner. You guys all remember what that was like, not having puppy pads, bowls, water bowl, food bowl, and little toys and stuff like that. We try to do all that as much as we can every single year. So I want to encourage you guys to do the same. You can buy a lot of those items just like we do right here on Amazon, guys. Toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant, shampoo, conditioner, hand sanitizer, pens, pencils, Band-Aids, toilet paper, socks, underwear. Socks is a big demand. So, if you're nothing else, get some socks, because trust me, homeless people do want socks. If you just walk up and say, hey, what is the one thing that you don't have you wish you had right now? Almost always, other than a place to live, they're going to tell you socks. So keep socks in the back of your mind. Anytime you see socks on deals, grab them, guys, grab them. And that way you'll have them, throughout the year. You can create your own little bag. So if you don't even have the drawstring backpacks, that's cool. Get yourself some of those big, gallon size Ziploc bags, and you can still fill them with a bunch of items. And you can still do basically the same thing. Just have like a little box in your car. And when you're driving around, if you're going to a convenience store, at a light, and someone is out there asking for help, you can just hand them one of those bags or backpack or whatever it is, and you can get on down the road, living your life. But knowing in your heart you did good that day, as I encourage you to do every single day. Like my man Alan does. Alan, for my birthday and for Christmas, he will always tell me what he did on my behalf. He's like, oh, Rome, I helped this family, or oh, Rome, I donated this, because of you, or whatever it is. And that really warms my heart, guys. It truly does, to see you guys doing good in the world, helping your fellow man, neighbors. You don't see color, you don't see race, you don't see any of that. You just see the good in the world that you could do for someone else. And trust me, guys, that alone is a blessing. All right, guys, it's time for me to wrap it up, because it's time for me to get in that kitchen and get busy. And Smokey is ready for dinner as well. So, I gotta go, y'all. I gotta go. Alan says, I don't have a cheese shredder. Bro, you need to get you a cheese shredder. I'm telling you, it's going to be great for making salads, vegetables, shredding those up. Food prep, it's great for that as well. If you're making, sauces and things, and you want to have, certain small, chopped up onions. I haven't tried anything like garlic in there, because you still got to peel the garlic and then, to try to run it through that. I don't know how well that would work, but, I've done onions, I've done peppers, I've done carrots, and of course cheese, and then I've also done some potatoes, and you get kind of these U-shaped slices with that because of the way it's made. But you can make your own chips with it, so that's pretty good. Put some tahini on there, some slap your mama on there, some salt, some pepper. Man, it's a party in your mouth. Okay, all right, my babies, y'all know it's that time. All right, my babies, stay safe out there, guys. Wash your hands, wear a mask when appropriate, take care of your loved ones. Get out there and create something amazing each and every single day. Each and every single day, my babies. Be that pebble in the pond. Let your light ripple out onto the community, engulfing others and inspiring them to get out and do good in the world as well. Try to make that your goal per day, to do something good for someone, including people you don't know. Any way you can, do good in the world. Right, Smokey? Right? Smokey says yes. Smokey says yes. Yes, that is a definite yes. All right, y'all. It's time for me to say the magic words. Peace, peace, and blue muffin grease. I am out. Boom, 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 my babies. I will see y'all back here in 48 hours, but I am out of here. Love y'all and have a happy 4th of July. I'm going to go try to record some fireworks in the sky after I make dinner. Love y'all. I got to go.